Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
Another day, another Twitter outrage. Twitter is coming for Evangeline Lilly, who is the actress who plays the Wasp.
Yes.
In the MCU, and she had some hot takes, or actually I don't think her takes were very hot on Twitter, but she was on the wrong side of Twitter, and now they're calling for her to be fired from the MCU. Of course they are.
Right, that's what they do. They're allowed to have any opinion they have, or allowed to say whatever they want, as long as it's the the right take, which means the left take.
Pretty much.
And then if anybody else has the other take, they should be fired immediately and, completely scrubbed from the internet and everything else.
Immediately. In fact, Twitter's already got their suggested casting replacements lined up, and they're saying, hey, the multiverse allows us to easily replace her without much of an explanation. Just like, oh, you look different. Oh, you're from the multiverse. Okay. Carry on.
They're replacing Brie Larson, too, because of the NFTs.
Yeah, right. Or they got to replace Brie Larson.
She has the right opinions, but she said she was shilling NFTs, which means now she is the wrong, which is the right, which is the non-left opinions of Twitter.
What?
Yeah, I know exactly.
The two wrongs don't make a right winger. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna talk about this because eventually
two wrongs make the new Sorcerer Supreme. No, Sorcerer Supreme. No, sorry. Please, name is Wong.
Anyway.
I'm allowed to say that.
Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 258,000 subs. Thank you so much. Sorry. Yeah, your woohoo's delayed. I'm going to have to replace you with one of the actresses that they recommended here. So, yeah, this happened over the weekend. Evangeline Lilly came out, and she was not happy with Justin Trudeau. Now, she is Canadian. I think that being Canadian, that probably gives her more of a right to spout off opinions about Canadian politics.
Right. We have opinions, but we're not going to tell people from other countries what they should and shouldn't do because we're not from those countries. And that we used to get so annoyed when people would be trying to weigh in on American politics, but they weren't American.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have opinions on this situation, but again, am an American, so Canadians, you do you. But she is Canadian, so she can say whatever the hell.
And then she got in trouble before this because she was at a pro-choice for vaccination choice, not abortion choice.
Yes, you know she's in favor of that too.
Your body, your choice only works when on some pro-choice things.
Yeah, right. We don't want women to be forced to do or not do any medical procedures they maybe don't want to do.
Unless it's about, mandates.
Yeah. So anyway, she's been sort of on the radar, and this is kind of exactly what happened with Letitia Wright too. It was like, okay, she said a couple things. Now we're watching you.
Burn the witch.
Burn the witch. We're watching you. We're watching you. We're going to watch everything you do or say and make sure that you're a right thinker. And if you're not, we're going to rant and rave on Twitter until somebody at Disney notices and cancels you. And here's the thing. Intermittent reinforcement. It has worked in the past. Gina Carano got gone.
Over things she said are coming to pass. How weird is that?
Right. So she got gone. James Gunn got gone, but then he got back.
It's because he's got a penis. Not really. I'm just going to do that because that's what Twitter does. There you go. Well, that's just misogyny.
That's misogyny, yeah. Well, he is a right-thinking, left-thinker, anyway, but yeah, so honestly, I thought why he got canceled was kind of stupid.
It was.
A joke.
I made jokes years ago.
A dumb joke, I mean, honestly, but
bad joke.
It was a bad joke, but have you watched his movies?
I know, yeah.
Have you seen the Suicide Squad? Yeah, so anyway, she's in the crosshairs right now. What's going to be really interesting to see is will Disney bend the knee and cancel her? I'm going to be honest, I don't think they're going to. I think in the Chapek era, I think we're in a different time where, he's going to be like, is there a financial incentive to do this? Because most people are like, what's the name of the actress that plays the Wasp in the Ant-Man movies, which are not the most successful Marvel movies, and we really don't care. What's her name again? Who cares? Yeah, people aren't following her on Instagram. They're not following her on Twitter. The majority of people that watch these movies, including China, I guess China actually likes the Ant-Man movies. They have a ride over there. But, they're not paying attention to her hot takes on Canadian politics.
The only reason I think they might is because this isn't her first
Her
Yeah.
first infraction.
Right. Like that Gina Carano, I think that's what they tried to use excuses. Well, she kept doing stuff. She wouldn't stop.
Yeah, so that's the understanding I have, is that they confronted her and she just kept on going. But she was also like, well, Pedro can
Say whatever he wants.
Say whatever he
right,
wants.
Exactly, because
Right.
that is the correct opinion to have on Twitter.
Yes.
Now, Evangeline Lilly's Canadian, and what she said I don't think was that controversial. She's just like, why don't you just like talk it out?
Talk it out. Why don't you talk it out? So yeah, anyway, she has been critical of Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's treatment of the Freedom Convoy. If you don't know what that is, you're probably not Canadian. You're probably living under a rock. I don't know. Maybe it's not a big deal outside of Twitter.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I'm not Canadian, so.
Bunch of truckers decided they had it with the vaccine mandates, and they parked their trucks, and this went on for like a month. And Trudeau eventually unleashed the police. He got himself emergency powers or something.
Yeah, threatening to take their money. It's
threatening
very,
to freeze bank accounts.
Very like 1930s. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I have opinions. I'm just. Let me put it to you this way: I am very, very glad I am not Canadian at this point in time. But anyways, it has escalated. So she put a video up on Bridge City News. And this is part of what she said. I don't want to clip her video because, we'll probably get struck for that. But she said to Trudeau, this is an open letter, video to Trudeau. If you're so convinced of your own reasons for the mandate, sit down and walk the leaders of a group of 2.3 million protesters. Actually, I've heard that was debunked. It wasn't that many, but still a lot, but not that many, across the country who represent many millions more across the nation. And explain it to them and ask them to listen with open hearts and minds and then reciprocate. Listen to what they have to say with a mind open to hearing things that might go against the ideas you are entrenched
this is kind of what's been getting people in trouble with the whole, why don't we listen to people? We should stop hating each other over differences and start listening to each other. And that's what has gotten people in trouble repeatedly. Like was kind of like with Gina Carano. Yeah, you mentioned, Chris Pratt, different people, even I think the whole Whoopi Goldberg thing, what she said was like, where have you been? That was really dumb. But then her point was, maybe we should stop being so divisive and start working together, which I mean, what she said, I can't believe she was that stupid. But
it's like, Whoopi, you've been around a very long time. Come on.
But I'm just like saying, it's just, to listen and talk it out is oh my God, that's blasphemy.
Look, I think we're getting to a point where that is the only option we're going to have, because you're not going to change people's minds. It used to be, it was like, well, we'll talk it out. Basically, we'll try to convince you. And then if we can't convince you, then we'll force you one way or another.
That's basically what it is. It's like, comply or,
comply or die, basically. Shrivel up and go away. And that's not working, because you're going to find yourself getting rid of an awful lot of people because people's opinions in these unprecedented times are split down the middle.
Well, I will admit, it's been compelling and interesting to see the juxtaposition of, events that happened in the summer of 2020 compared to the events that happen now and the behavior and the way things were treated on both sides. It's been very interesting to watch.
Is that the word we're going to use? The word interesting. Yeah. Meanwhile, England. I'm just going to put that out there. Just right before we started recording this video, Boris Johnson, who really needs a comb. Does he need a comb? Do we need to get him a comb?
I don't know.
Boris Johnson has announced that they're going to end all remaining COVID restrictions in England. And England was locked down pretty hard. And he's basically like, we're going to have to learn to live with it. And, at this point, you're on your own. I mean,
I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, they basically said it's going to be around like the flu. It's going to always be around now. And you just, sadly, it is what it is. And
people are going to die. I mean, there's not.
It sucks. I mean, what are you going to do?
I don't know what else to say at this point. It's I mean, if we're going to lock people down for diseases, every disease that could potentially possibly maybe kill you, then we just need to all live in a freaking bubble, because there's a lot of other stuff out there besides COVID too,
Right. But we're not going to make this about that, because I mean, it is, but it isn't. But yeah, it's about the behavior around this. It's like, so she gives her hot take, which, celebrities in general, you guys really should stop giving out hot takes. I mean, for your own good.
I think at this point, companies like Disney, studios like Disney, look, the only way to be fair in this is to basically be like, if you are working for us or you're under contract for us, please do not, throw your political hot takes out there one way or another. But it doesn't matter. Look at Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt barely says anything on social media.
He made a joke.
He makes a joke. And they come after him.
But that's the thing. Disney, we've said this repeatedly, and we're still saying this again, is that they need to make a rubric and they need to make a list of these are the things that can get you in trouble. And this is what happens when you do it once. This is what happens when you do it, different things. People are very clear and upfront the entire way across the board. So it's not just leaning towards one side over the other.
You get a demerit. A demerit with the Disney D, a demerit, a dismerit.
Start digging them money off their pay, and then like they do it with sports people. If they do stuff that they're not supposed to, they get penalized.
Fine,
Start doing that if you have to.
There you go. That'll shut everybody up.
But agree or disagree with what these people say. Either everybody should be allowed to be able to post what they believe, or nobody should. And at this point in time, the way the internet is, I would just definitely, and then you don't even have to say it on Twitter. They'll find it and post it all over. Yeah. I just wouldn't say anything.
Yeah. I mean, again, she's Canadian. She's going to have opinions on this, but she was already in the crosshairs.
How dare she?
It was same with Letitia Wright. Letitia Wright, now, to be completely fair, some of her theories she was posting about the vaccines were kind of weird, but they were her opinions, and she got kind of canceled for that. And then the movie was delayed. Black Panther 2 was delayed.
That's because she got hurt.
She got hurt. Some people think that they gave her a couple million extra to get her to get vaccinated. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but they tried to cancel her. They pushed for her to be recast. And then they're like, well, while we're at it, we can recast T'Challa and just start over. Now they have the multiverse. Okay, so let's talk about the multiverse. Now that they have the multiverse, they basically have an out to recast anybody at any point in time. Or, hey, this actor died. That's okay. We'll bring in a variant from another multiverse. They could bring Black Panther back.
That's what they're going to do, in one way or another.
That's like, well, we're not going to bring that version of T'Challa back, but we've got another 818 version of him that we'll bring in. Anyway, Chris Pratt, they've been trying to cancel. You were mentioning Brie Larson. Gina Carano, of course, was successful. So now they did it with Gina Carano. They think they can do it.
They tried it with Rosario Dawson, but then it turned out that the charges were dropped.
Yep.
So it just goes on and on.
Yeah. And at some point, Disney and other studios, other companies, and I think they're starting to realize, I mean, we've been talking about this pendulum swing and looking at Kickstarter. 2 or 3 years ago, Kickstarter would have completely caved to the outrage, the tempest in the teapot of the comic book people on Twitter. They would have caved, and they're not now. I mean, it's getting to the point where they're just like, yeah, whatever. Twitter is causing us a lot of problems. Until we actually see our bottom line affected, let's, tell them to go shut up. But we got blue checks here. Patrick Monahan. I don't know. He's got blue check. Doesn't take much to get blue check these days. Ant-Man. Hey, hope you look different. Actress other than Evangeline Lilly. Oh, yeah, multiverse thing. Ant-Man, and that explains that. That's honestly, though, with the multiverse, it really is that simple. They could.
How dare you have an opinion I don't like? You should be fired.
Evangeline Lilly has gone full crazy train.
Another blue check again. Don't know who they are.
Zach Davidson, no idea. Making weeping videos over the Ottawa truckers. I'm definitely skipping Quantum Mania.
I don't think they care.
Christian Chirico.
I don't even know any of these people.
They all have blue checks. They must be important. Why would Evangeline Lilly be so loud when Jennifer Garner and Kate Beckinsale are still literally right over there existing and good at acting? Pretty sure people care about Wasp more than Evangeline Lilly. Recast her. We don't need more of this in the MCU fandom. Honestly,
right, but it's okay to have every opinion that I agree with in the MCU fandom.
Honestly, I probably wouldn't even notice if Marvel replaced Evangeline Lilly with Kate Beckinsale.
They basically just keep saying that they're interchangeable, which is kind of insulting to both the actresses.
But so when other people said, "Hey, we really should trade out Brie Larson for a better actress,"
they can now.
They can now because multiverse.
But now Twitter will agree with it because she did
NFTs. Can't wait for Marvel to announce a replacement. I have 2 choices. Play the Wasp, Jennifer Garner or Kate Beckinsale. Kevin Feige watching Letitia Wright and Evangeline Lilly be complete ding-a-lings.
Right, because you don't agree with them, so you're an idiot.
Oh, nope. I'm not one to quickly suggest a good old-fashioned canceling.
Right, as I suggest a good old-fashioned canceling.
But I'm good on Evangeline Lilly. That's more than enough from her for me. I'm totally cool. If I never see her in a major studio film ever again, this is bullshit. Coming soon to a dinner theater near you, Evangeline Lilly and Kevin Sorbo and Long Day's Journey into Obscurity. Oh, ouch.
Yeah, burn. You showed them.
You showed them.
Do we have to read these more?
No.
They're just so dumb.
Although
I'm just like...
This one I did appreciate. That was funny. Disney about to remove Evangeline Lilly from Ant-Man 3 like Poochie died on his way back to his own planet. Oh, she got stuck in the quantum realm. That's it. That she's done.
Thing is, now when they start canceling people, it makes them more famous, and makes them more money, and makes them more popular. So
ask Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan how that's working out for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, that's the thing. It's that they don't understand the Streisand effect. What's going to happen now is Evangeline Lilly, weren't really paying much attention because she was always just kind of a side character. Maybe we should give her her own movie now, you know, because she's really popular. She's been trending a lot in social. Look at all these articles about Evangeline Lilly. Let's give her a movie.
No, I love the whole
the Daily Wire.
I love the whole. We should listen to women. We need strong women. We need more strong female characters. We need women that fight for things, and then you have women that fight for things you don't agree with.
But not those
women. They need canceled. You need to shut up and get back in the kitchen. I just think it's funny.
All of the Marvel women are problematic now. Remember Shuri? Remember how much they love Shuri? They loved her.
Cara Dune.
Cara Dune. Remember, they love Cara Dune. They love Shuri. They love Hope. Then as
soon as they were well, Gina Carano, Cara Dune. Well, because you're a character we love, that means you have to stand up for everything we believe in. You better put pronouns in your bio because that's what you should do because we love your character and you owe us. And that's what this attitude is. And I'm tired of it. It's like, look, agree with her, disagree with her. It doesn't matter. It's just like, I mean, it's like one opinion's allowed on places like Twitter. And that's it. I mean, is anybody shocked or surprised this is what they're yelling about?
Yeah, and it's, at some point Disney is going to have to realize that not all of the celebrities they're working with, including a lot of people they've worked with for a long time, like Emilio Estevez and Tim Allen and so many others, is like they don't agree with Twitter. What are you going to do about it?
It's almost like people have opinions and vote a certain one, have like freedom of choice. And, not everybody agrees with certain people in this country. It's almost like half the country voted a way that other people didn't. Who would have thunk? But what gets me is this whole idea of sit down and listen and talk it out. And, maybe have a sit down just back and forth instead of just like knee-jerk reacting and doing all the stuff you're doing is considered crazy talk. I mean, but everything that the extremism that is completely acceptable. I mean, I just thought it was like, agree or disagree with what she says. I mean, the whole idea of, well, maybe you should sit down and talk it out first seems like a rational, in any situation.
We're talking about Twitter. There is no rational anything on Twitter. And look, I think Disney at this point, I think they are getting numb to it. There was so much backlash over Gina Carano. And that was, I think, a Lucasfilm decision. I don't think that was really Disney proper. Mm-hmm. I think that was Lucasfilm deciding. But
ultimately, Disney proper is responsible.
Yeah, they are. But what I'm saying is it seemed like Lucasfilm, they were given the keys to kind of handle their things the way they want to. But they made such
they're doing so great with that.
Yeah, right. But they did such a big, flowery, like, we would never work with that hater woman ever. Look at these horrible anti-Semitic things she said. She's a hate monger. Oh my God. They could have just been like, yeah, she's not scheduled to be in the next season.
But then they have like people making fun of other people for crying over Luke, and then making fun of fans, like actually out there attacking fans. That's fine.
That's fine.
I'm just like, you don't have to agree with her. You can agree with her, whatever. I'm just like, Disney really needs to make sure if it's okay for one person to have an opinion, but not okay for another, then they need to make sure that just everybody needs to stop talking.
Unless you're breaking the law, I think for the most part, like, look, people are allowed to have opinions. People have had different opinions in Hollywood for decades. You just never knew about it until social media.
I just think it's funny because if it had been another situation and it had been somebody else, like an American person telling everybody we're going to take your bank accounts and do all the crap they're doing, they would lose their shit.
Oh, yeah.
But it's okay when it goes along with what they want it to be. And I'm just like, I don't see what the problem is with sitting down and trying to work out some middle ground and then, go from there. It doesn't sound like a bad idea. But, what do I know? Yeah. I'm not Canadian, so...
Whatever.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what to tell you. It just... But, but they're trying to cancel her. Shocker. Big surprise. Water's wet.
So we're going to wrap this one up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.